I had friends of mine that owed money by him. I said, just say the word. The next opening this fool has, I'll go in, take 2 paintings off the wall, and walk out. And I'll hold these paintings at my house and say, now you have an issue with the painter. Now you have an issue with me. And you have an issue with someone else that you owe money to. And this was my hobby every night. I'd go out, get drunk, get on the bike, go ditch cops.
Don't do
Wake
this,
up the next morning, go out, get drunk, get on the bike, ditch cops. I do this constantly.
All right, welcome to Waiting to Dry. My name is Josh Lawyer. I'm here with Sergio Lopez.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And our guest today is Monty Guy.
Hello.
What's up?
Buddy?
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're here drinking Modelis. And,
Modelo's.
And yeah, so me and Monty Guy go back pretty far. I don't know how many years we go back, but I'm thinking at least 8.
I'm the new player in this love triangle.
2011, 2012, maybe.
Yeah.
When I met you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right about the same time as when I decided to go full time being an artist.
Nice.
What were you doing before that?
You know, when I moved back to San Francisco, I had just a couple of random jobs. But for a little while, I was doing nothing, just collecting unemployment, selling weed in the park, just being a little, hoodlum.
Hoodlum, yeah.
And so yeah, I made some T-shirts. I decided to try and sell these T-shirts, and I met up with this lady, Irene, who Josh also knew, a mutual friend, and that's how I met Josh.
Owner of the Wonderland Gallery in San Francisco.
Nice.
For sure. So you know what? Actually, we just jump right into it, I guess. A funny story how I met her. I used to hang out at a bar my buddy was bartending at, and it was right next door to the Mezzanine in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
There's a venue there where this gallery owner used to throw these big parties and big fashion art parties.
Yeah.
So I was next door at the bar, just hanging out in there, just drinking free drinks. And this lady came stumbling in, and, I started to strike up a conversation with her about what I was trying to do, trying to be an artist. She said, go next door. There's a big party going on. So I did. She gave me a little ticket to get in. I went next door, met Irene. Then, one thing led to another. I ended up meeting Josh and started showing paintings.
Damn. Do you know who that lady was that stumbled in the bar?
Yeah, her name's Nicole Ward.
Shout out to Nicole.
Yeah, shout out Nicole.
Man, that's a life-changing movie.
I know. I tell her that every time I see her at the openings.
What's up?
What does she do?
I'm not sure what she does.
Oh.
She stumbles into bars.
Whatever she does. Well,
she stumbles into bars and finds artists and go there. And she's like a wise man.
Whatever she does, she's put together.
But woman. For sure. So yeah, then so it's like 10 years of us getting drunk randomly together every once in a blue moon.
Yeah, that's why we hit it off.
Yeah, now we're here today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I love Monty. You're a wild man.
How wild does Monty Guy get?
I don't know.
What's something you can remember about him?
Is. Here we go. This is what our talk's going to turn into.
It's like a rehab thing. I think about it.
This was an intervention. This is a goddamn surprise intervention.
Exactly.
An intervention with beers all over it.
Yeah, this isn't a real podcast. We're going to end it today. We just started it just to trick you to get you here today.
Yeah, no, you guys duped me.
Yeah.
I knew it was something smooth like that.
Exactly. And now we're like, now we're pulling up the paddy wagon. We're going to throw you in this.
That's fine. They know me.
But yeah, so did you already painted before you started showing, right?
Always. I always had the knack for drawing and creating, some things visually. And my mom and my dad both, but my mom in particular, she just really fed that in me, that creative little spark or whatever I had.
Right. Nice.
So I had the ability always, no bullshit to pat myself on the back, but I was the best person to draw shit and do whatever always. All through grade school, all through high school, all through, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I had that ability, but I didn't really think that's what I was going to do for a job.
Did you think that was even an option?
yeah, I wanted to be an artist for as long as I could remember. And my dream got smushed when the Academy of Art kicked me out. And
did you go to Academy of Art too?
I did, yeah, one
For
semester.
how long? Oh, okay.
Yep.
I knew a lot of one semester
One
people.
semester, and yeah, via letter. Dude, I just
Really?
got a letter in the mail that was like, you are not welcome back.
What'd you do?
Or anywhere on our premises. Like, our dorms, our fucking cafeterias. I go, you are not welcome.
They were like, we hate you.
Pretty much.
You can't be friends with any of our friends.
So the question I gotta ask is why?
I guess it was a culmination of, plenty of things. I grew up in a very liberal household, and I was given a lot of personal freedoms. And I guess I just carried that same sort of mentality when I left and went to college. I was just able to make my own decisions and make my own choices. I had a really smooth fake ID since I was 16. So as soon as I moved back, or when I moved to San Francisco, I was 17. And, right away, I would just started buying cocktail or buying, alcohol for the other kids in the dorms. I remember I had this dorm at Bush and Hyde, and I got asked to leave out of there pretty quick because of my rambunctious behavior. They were out of dorm space, so I went to go live in a hotel called Cathedral Hill. It's right across the street from Tommy's Joint, Van Ness and Geary.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I was living in there. They had one floor that was all boys, one floor that was all girls, and we weren't allowed to go to either floor. Or
oh, right,
us,
yeah.
That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, you kidding me? 17-year-old me. I was like, day one, I went down to the girls' floor. I just started knocking on all the doors. And the ones that answered, I said, look, I'm going to go down to the liquor store. I'm going to buy just a bunch of alcohol and take them up to this Grace Cathedral Church. They used to make the art kids draw this fountain and shit out front of the church.
Yeah. I've done that a few times.
So I was like, I'm just going to go meet everybody at the fountain at like 6:30 tonight. I'm just going to bring shopping carts full of booze up there. We could just skateboard and drink and whatever, get to know each other, because everybody was new to school, we were all freshmen. And that kind of behavior got recognized real quick, I think. I think the school was a lot more smaller than I anticipated. I thought I'd just blend in. Oh, be all good. And it wasn't like that.
Yeah. Word would get around pretty quickly if that was happening.
It did, yeah.
So they just didn't want anyone cool at the school.
No, I don't know what it was, man. To tell you the truth, I thought I was going to be all good. I got good grades in my classes.
For that one semester?
For that one semester, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've already talked a bunch of shit about the Academy, even though I've never gone, just as a joke, but back to that, fuck you, Academy of Arts, except for
the same, yeah.
Sergio went, he graduated, so thank you for that.
I actually didn't graduate.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
I got my I milked the system as much as I could there, too.
It was also, it was disheartening because I went to that school. I thought I was going to be amongst a bunch of people who were there to be artists. And I was surrounded by a bunch of people who just couldn't get into other schools and were just there on daddy's money doing dumb shit. Like, I'm going to be the next Coco Chanel, or this and that. I was like, no, you're probably not, because you're not. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Or there'd be a whole bunch of dudes that were there trying to design the next supercar.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, dude, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, That's all.
Yeah. Well, you started at 17 as well, because that's when I did too. Yeah, right out of high school. Yeah. In 01?
Yeah.
That's when I started too. I wonder if I heard about your shenanigans at the dorm room too.
Well, I was around. I think I lived in every dorm they had available. They just kept moving me around, hoping I would be, less out of hand, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, 17 years later, you would probably still be the wild one.
They could not keep me out. The Cathedral Hill, so the hotel, finally they moved me out the hotel because I wouldn't stay off the girls' floor.
That's ridiculous, first of all. How are they going to have all boys in one floor and all girls on the other floor? And like, you guys can't talk to each other.
Oh, nobody paid attention to that rule.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Nobody. So they had a big pool in like the courtyard, and I was blocked out of the rooms. So I communicated with this girl. Yeah, I'm gonna come over and hang out with you tonight. I got into the hotel, went into the courtyard, climbed up the trellis, to the ivy trellis another story and climbed in the window. Whoop! They couldn't keep me out. They couldn't keep me out.
How do you even communicate with people in 2001?
You know, I had a cell phone.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, the text using the numbers.
I didn't have a cell phone until like 2006.
Well, that's your bad.
Yeah, sorry. I grew up broke as fuck.
You know what? Something else cool, which is it came full circle back to our, you know, contemporary society with Instagram and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it at the time, obviously. So when I went to this hotel, that everybody had a room, but you were given a roommate also because each room had 2 queen beds.
Right.
So I was there. My roommate never showed up. I was there for a couple weeks. Finally, he showed up and he walked in the room real quick. A dude older than me. He was like 24 at the time. And he walked in and he's like, yeah, well, I'm not going to be staying here in this room with you. So just so you know, I'm just in. He wrote graffiti all over all the walls in the 10 minutes he was in there. And he was just like, yeah, I'm out. I'm staying across the hall with some friends of mine. So he went across the hall. And when he was in the room, he noticed that I had a little bit of weed on the table. So then later on, he came back to the door. He's like, hey, I noticed you had some of that weed. You want to come over and smoke some of it in the hall? I went across the hall to his room there, and he had 2 other people that were not art students. They were all art frauds. They came from New York. The dude who was supposed to be my roommate was a real art academy student, but the other ones were just his homies that were pretending and were staying in his, what was meant to be his room.
Yeah.
So a week later, they said, we have our next buddy coming out here to come kick it with us. He shows up. It's the fat Jew.
Oh, really?
You know, he's the Instagram famous fat Jewish guy. So he was my across the hall homie for like, you know, however long he was there at the school for that whole, however long the semester was, a couple months.
I had no idea he ever went there.
He didn't. He wasn't an art student.
Oh, right,
he was just a fraud. He just came in and kicked it there and ate free meals at the hotel pretending to be an art student. They would all go take free class. They would all go to classes. They would take like drawing classes. They would all go do shit. This fool looked the same. He introduced himself as the fat Jew then.
Oh, really?
I was like, he got to the academy right away, bought a pink Cadillac. I was like, damn, this fool is on one. And look at him now.
Yeah, real piece of shit.
Do you still know him at all?
I didn't even know him then.
Oh.
I just hung out with them and smoked weed when I was a kid. They were 25. I was 17.
Oh, okay.
So after that semester of you being you, then what happened? You just fucking were out and they just kicked you to the curb and then you're just chilling in San Francisco?
They kicked me out of school. I had an apartment still here by that time. I had a 6-month lease on an apartment, and I didn't want to stay here. I didn't think I could afford it as a kid. You know, my dad went, I just was on my own here. So I I didn't stay in the apartment. I went back to Bakersfield where I didn't tell you that. That's where I grew up, Bakersfield.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I moved in with some buddies of mine and I was just being a shithead, just an overall hoodlum, you know, just doing random bad acts. And I had this cousin in Hawaii who for some reason or another, I think he was fleeing some jail sentence or whatever, but he had went to Kauai and he was just a wild, like, island person there. So I thought, I'm going to go find him. I have everything else better to do. I got a one-way ticket to Hawaii and I flew there. I flew to Kauai and then just wandered around Kauai and Maui for, I don't know, maybe in total, better part of a year, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Nice. How'd you like that?
It was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you not? I mean, then this was pre any travel advisor or GPS tags or any of that shit. There was none of that. Mm-hmm. You know, everything was still by word of mouth. Gotta go find this swimming hole. Gotta go, you know, find this place to fish. Whoop, whoop. So yeah, it was great. I loved it. I mean, I had a birthday on the island. Like, I just found myself there for a bit after just wandering around. You could say homeless, but to be homeless in Hawaii is not hard at all.
Right. Yeah.
I got tied in with this hippie commune in the middle of Kauai. These people be living back there for decades, separated from everything.
Off the grid?
They grow their own food. They got a little library system. They have some hierarchy with mayor and all this and that. It was great. I heard about them. I searched them out. When I found them, they made me a firewood kid, like a firewood picker, you know. Every day I just wandered around and gathered firewood. By the time I left the commune, I was trusted with kayaks, fishing gear, all goat hunting, all types of shit. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So then I actually moved from there to Hollywood, to tell you the truth. I went from Hawaii.
I didn't know this.
Did you know people in Hollywood?
Nope.
But Bakersfield is pretty close to Hollywood, right?
Well, anymore these days, Bakersfield's basically a LA suburb. You know, geographically, if there wasn't the mountains out of the valley, it would just, it's very close. You got to drive over the Grapevine to get there. But that mountain range wasn't there. It would just be a suburb anymore. I mean, the way everything has grown.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, I moved to Hollywood. It was shitty. I lived there for 2 years.
What made you go to Hollywood of all places?
Because the only thing I was really good at is art. Mm-hmm. And so when I came back from Hawaii, my dad put me to work doing construction in Bakersfield. Mm. That lasted about 2 months. It's like, you had to wake up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
To go. I was like, no, that ain't me. Yeah. So I told my dad I'm going to move down to Hollywood and draw pictures for money. And so I got a job.
Caricatures or?
No, I got a job working at a screen printing company.
Oh, okay.
I went down to move off of Sunset, and it was like Bill Graham inspired art. I got to meet Stanley Mouse.
Oh yeah.
This artist, old school, like
local
60s artist.
It's a basketball artist.
He lives up here too.
He used to go to the drawing classes here. I don't know if he still does it all.
So I met him. I just did like 60s reproduction of art. Huh. I just reproduced old Bill Graham posters. Stanley Mouse, Alton Kelly, Rick Griffin, all that. These types of artists.
Yeah. Was that the kind of art you liked at the time, or still like?
Yeah, I guess. I did. I really liked that kind of art. I grew up, I was kind of raised with, like I said, my dad always had me listen to that type of music.
Oh, okay.
So, I kind of appreciated the art. I remember looking at like Yes album covers.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I met the guy who does those, or used to do those album covers. This guy, what's his name? Roger something or other.
Federer.
Yeah, exactly.
Roger Federer did Yes album covers in his off time.
Yep.
When he was 3 years old.
I mean, how much time did it take to become a professional tennis player, anyways?
2 days a week.
Yeah, I would say so. Roughly.
As much time as it takes to be an artist.
Nice.
So it was cool. I mean, doing the art was cool. Hollywood sucked.
Yeah. So what? That's about like 2005-ish.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I moved back to the city in 2006.
Nice. You've been here ever since.
Yep. Been in San Francisco since.
Nice.
I got a job right away at this this old school deli in the city called Luca Ravioli. Shout out Luca.
Fuck yeah, that spot's the best.
What part of the city is that?
22nd at Valencia.
Oh, okay, so yeah, Mission area.
Right in the Mission. When I got a job there, the Mission was still grimy.
Oh, sure.
It was not at all what it looks like now. The extra little arm of the marina now.
Yeah,
but Valencia Street, it was a shithole when I was working there, really. Mm. But that job was awesome because it got me. Everybody comes through that deli, so I got to meet so many people. And right across the street is a gallery, Lunarien, which I love them. Mm-hmm. Super tight to this day. Mm-hmm. And I would pop over then and tell them, on my lunch break, one of these days I'm going to be an artist. Keep a lookout for me. I never did the whole time I worked there, I didn't do any drawings or any paintings. I just kept talking myself up. Like I tend to do anyways.
Just putting down the groundwork.
Speaking of my new hashtag this year, why am I not famous yet?
Yeah, hashtag why is Monty not famous?
Yeah, that's what my other people are supposed to use. What I talk about myself is why am I not famous yet?
I've done it.
Well, we here at Waiting to Dry will help blowing that up.
I know.
Yeah. That's what you're here for.
I'm still waiting for you guys to follow me off Instagram.
On what?
Waiting to Dry?
Oh.
I am following you on there.
Oh, you're not.
All right.
Oh, there's beef.
Are
we doing this?
Here.
Are we about to fight?
Yeah, well, right here, live podcast, throwdown over IG shit. IG beef. It's like I'm 17.
I don't follow you. I don't know you yet.
I know you like that. So yeah, after Hollywood, moved back to the city, and I knew I wanted to do art. It was just a tough little path, Yeah. Can't just. The cost to live in San Francisco does not just let you be, I'm going to be an artist right away.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't do that.
Yeah, you got to sell your body, move up from selling your body, selling deli meat, from deli meat to
selling
drugs, from drugs to artwork.
Yeah.
So now you're selling meat, so let's hear about your drug selling. No, I'm just kidding.
So then you weren't drawing at that time. So then what made you start doing art then? Like redoing it?
It's because I had quit the deli. I wasn't doing much. I wasn't doing anything productive, really. I was just making ends meet, like I said, off of just selling shit here and there to people. And I don't need to go too much into it, but I wanted to do something more creative, just better with my time.
Yeah.
So I used my screen printing, the knowledge I had from screen printing.
Mm-hmm.
I had been seeing more and more and more people around the mission my age with face tattoos, which wasn't a thing of my youth. Like nobody was getting face tattoos. The first person I can remember, the first person really that came out with that shit was Aaron Neville back in the day.
Oh yeah,
he tattooed a cross on his face.
Oh right. Yeah,
and then after that was Gucci tattooed a goddamn 3-scoop Burr ice cream cone on his face.
Lil Wayne was
always doing the tattoos on his face, but we don't consider Lil Wayne. He's up there in the clouds. Well, he's OG status. I don't look at him as a human form.
But you shouted out Aaron Neville. That's OG. That's like
not in my world.
With that silky high pitched voice.
But I do remember him getting that cross tattoo. So in any case, I see all these people getting more and more face tattoos.
You gotta remember Tyson too.
See this same thing about Tyson? It looked like he'd be born with that tattoo.
That's true.
It doesn't.
It was like he just rubbed off the makeup.
It's not a face tattoo.
He had makeup there the whole time. He rubbed it off.
It's
a birthmark.
Extension of his personality. He's full savage.
It just showed up one day. Yeah.
And I had this thought, it's just human nature to push the limit, push. So I see these kids my age with face tattoos. I'm thinking in 10 years, kids are going to have face tattoos. So I did all these drawings. They're kind of not stereotypical. I don't know what the word would be, but like for the mission, I drew a little Mexican kid with all sort of mission tattoos all over him. For North Beach, I drew a little Italian kid with North Beach tattoos.
Kind of like little kids repping their
Ocean
neighborhood.
Beach was a little blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid with Ocean Beach tattoos.
Right.
Yeah, so I put these on shirts thinking, I'm going to sell these to different neighborhoods in the city. I don't have to go sit in Dolores Park and sell weed to people. So I took these shirts to that lady Irene, what I was talking about, and she said, the shirts are cool, but can you make these into paintings? Because I could sell the paintings for a lot more than I could sell the shirts. And I hadn't done any painting like that before. As a kid, I had copied some Bob Ross paintings. And from screen printing, I had learned how to break things down into like a 4-color process, basically. Right. So I just used that sort of idea to try to do a painting. I did these 3 paintings, took them to her. She sold all 3 of them. And I thought, this is my new job. Now I don't have to go try to be like a scumbag no more. I do something that's worthwhile where I feel like people could be more proud of me about, instead of just being like, oh yeah, you're doing the same shit we thought you'd be doing.
Right.
So
that's been basically your
that was it. That just kicked me off being a painter since then. Yeah. That was about late 2011 maybe.
Yeah. How's that been working out for you since
being a painter?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
That's awesome.
I'm 1,000 times better off than I figured I'd be at 34.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of people get to say that. Painters, at least.
Yeah, it could have been not so good for me at this point.
So
I feel like I'm doing all right.
So all your paintings are black and white and kind of grayscale, right?
Yeah.
Is there a reason behind that, or is it just to simplify?
Well, I guess there'd be two sort of reasons behind it. One being that I really don't have any training of painting. I'm just making this shit up as I go.
Right.
So I'm using this 4-tone breakdown, this idea. I'm starting with a black and a white and 2 intermediate grays.
Right.
That's easier for me to understand coming from someone who just draws with a pencil. It's a lot closer to that sort of style of rendering.
Right.
And I don't have to try thinking about all these color combinations and bounce lighting and all this other shit.
They teach all that in the second semester of academy. So you really missed out.
Yeah.
But and on top of that, you know what? Black and white is just classical, bro. That shit would never go out of style.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like wearing a black t-shirt.
It is. Black
just
and white.
Never gold.
That shit is hard. And doing tattoos. A lot of the grayscale tattoos, I feel the same. The grayscale tattoos never go out of style.
Yeah.
That shit's done good. That's it. It's timeless.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true. Nice. So, do you ever think you're gonna transition to color, or you just have you made up your mind? You're black and white.
I'm gonna paint with some colors too, but yeah, mostly just black and white because that's just what I like looking at. Yeah, really.
Well, how dare you? First of all, because our paintings are colorful. So
yeah.
First, I like to
and
start
I don't
off
like
by
looking
saying,
at either one of these.
yeah. I got that. So we're about to fight again. So pause the podcast.
I have to check and see if he follows me on Instagram now.
No, that's a lie. I love both of your guys' paintings.
Yeah, there's definitely, you notice that with a lot of artists, they kind of follow some random path, and it doesn't make you like or unlike certain art. Like just because you paint in black and white doesn't mean that you can't like a colorful ass painting. Yeah,
right.
To be poetic.
That's true, but I really don't that often.
How dare you again?
No, I'm be honest. I don't. Sometimes I think. I mean, what the fuck? I can be entitled to my own opinion.
No,
that's
not
deal
true.
with painting and collecting art. You just get to paint what you want and collect what you want.
No, opinions have to be all the same. Everyone's opinion has to be
I would say my brightest painting is Max Ehrman. And
what do you mean by brightest?
Like color wise.
Oh, okay.
Just the brightest. And then who's my other one?
Josh
Weiss.
Lawyer.
No.
Oh. Okay. Cool. My feelings aren't hurt. It's cool. All right. I guess we'll just change the subject.
I have 2 of your paintings.
I'm just kidding.
I do. I don't have any of Sergio's yet.
Me neither. I got a print, but how dare he not even give me a painting for my birthdays? But yeah.
You have my painting of Mello now.
Yeah. That's true. Never mind. I changed my mind. So do you use the black and white? Sorry to go back to this, but is there anything that you pull from that as far as like the black and white meaning anything other than kind of an iconic way to look to paint?
No. I think it's mostly aesthetic.
Yeah.
It did kind of lend to when I started trying to paint this idea of like what the inner child of my subjects were. And like, to paint like Basquiat as a 4-year-old with tattoos.
Right. Yeah.
Or Jim Morrison as a 6-year-old with tattoos.
Right.
The black and white kind of lend to the like ghostly aspect, like it's not a representation. It's just, so it's just like my own, whatever I'm imagining.
So when you first started doing these children, it was like children in like little hoods and them kind of like wrapping their hoods, and then it transitioned to kind of like child iconic figures, and then the tattoos would kind of almost,
it's like the narrative,
be like bullet points to their life.
Exactly.
So what was the research as far as like going through that and trying to figure out what you would put in to kind of tell that story?
It's like I always really enjoyed the idea of art history class, but when I took it, I slept because it's like a dark room with slides, and there's someone being like, "Oh, this is this,
right?"
And this statue is represented as a. I'm like, it's like sleep for me,
right?
Bueller.
This forced me to learn, or to like study people on my own.
Oh, I see.
Which I wanted to paint a little painting of Ernest Hemingway. Well, I had to go read up about him,
right?
And find out all this stuff about his past, in order to make the tattoos make sense.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So did you find any cool facts about like people that you really love and you were like, I didn't know that shit?
Yeah, I did. Van Gogh. I guess one of the facts I found out was that he proposed 3 times and was shut down 3 times.
Because he wasn't good in bed.
The fuck?
That's what I heard. The word on the street. Van Gogh couldn't put it down.
Well, I don't know if that was it, but goddamn, 3 proposals and 3 shutdowns. I mean, no wonder this fool was depressed and chopping off his body parts and shit, like eating his own pain.
A little bit of an overreaction with most of this stuff.
Or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe they were like, "No, we saw you eating a tube of cadmium yellow last night. Well, we are not going to marry you."
Yeah, you just cut off your ear. Was he in love with like another artist? Isn't that like a theory?
Yeah,
like some other guy artist.
I know. We won't get into it, dude. I'm not trying to shame no one's name, especially when they're dead.
Shout out to Van Gogh. I also heard some theory about some kid killed him or shot him.
I have heard that, yeah.
Yeah, and then
some kids were messing around. They had a gun.
Yeah, and
shot him in the stomach or something.
He felt bad, so he said, like, go and run off, and I'll take credit for killing myself or something like that.
I don't know. But I have heard that about him possibly.
If that went down, that's the most gangster shit ever.
He's like, just dip.
Yeah, he's like, you know what, boys? Just run away.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino.
I'm going to take this one for the team.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino needs to make that movie. Van Gogh, but just super exaggerated. That'd be fucking awesome. So now recently you've been kind of transitioning from young kids to like these iconic sculptures. Right, and
I want to paint some more. I guess the sculptures, but I want them to show some human elements underneath. If the marble was break away, then there's underneath muscles and organs and bones.
Nice. And so we have this painting we're looking at of yours right now. It's of this guy. I've never seen him before.
David.
He looks familiar, but I don't know if I've ever seen him. I think
it's a fucking badass painting.
Yeah, it's good. Probably way better than I get. I'm assuming.
Go ahead.
Do you know where this? I'm not that knowledgeable of sculptures. Do you know what sculpture this is, Sergio?
I think it's this very obscure artist named
Michelangelo.
Something like that.
I think I've heard of him.
Michelangelo?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
Macau?
The dude who bought this painting is legit too. He's just as legit as the painting. His name's Bernie.
Shout out
I'm not going to go too deep into Bernie because
he's too
this
legit.
Motherfucker's gangster. But I will say that he's probably 70.
Hell yeah.
And he's holding down.
Did he run for
on
president?
The West Coast, I'll tell you that. What's up?
Did he run for president?
No. Different Bernie.
All right. 70-year-old Bernie.
He would slap five with the president Bernie, that's for sure.
But yeah, so it's the sculpture David, right, by Michelangelo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure most people know what we're talking about. And he's got these tattoos. He's got teardrops. So did you do research on Michelangelo or the sculpture because he has these tattoos of...
it's off David. It's off the biblical David.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So King David, that's where he's got the crown.
And you know what a lot of people ask? No, I don't know if people just... Things are so recognizable, you just glance at it and know what it is. Like, you don't question what all the things are.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So a lot of people ask me what he's holding in his hand.
That's a slingshot, right?
That's what's basically the holster.
Right.
You know, it'd be more or less like the holster for his slingshot. Back in the day, it wasn't like a slingshot like Dennis the Menace.
No.
Right.
It was like a long leather strap that they would put a rock in.
Strap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I grew up super religious. I know all that shit.
I could tell.
Yeah. And then so the skull in the middle, that's Goliath's head.
It sure
with
is.
With the whap.
Yep.
And then he beheaded him, and then another crown.
He beheaded him, so that's the sword on his arm.
Okay.
I tried to look up the exact reference for whatever David's sword was.
Here's the question. Why does he only have one teardrop? Because David was a motherfucking murderer.
I know that.
He should have there's that old saying David became king. Yeah, they'd be like, I think King Saul, they'd be like, King Saul killed hundreds, David killed thousands.
He did.
Yeah, so.
Well, that teardrop's hollow.
Oh, or maybe there's 1,000 little teardrops in it.
That teardrop's hollow to hold all his murders inside.
Okay, I see. Okay.
And you see the one coming off the sword. That's the David kill. The Goliath kill.
Yeah.
So you got the bear and the lion, which he killed both a bear and a lion.
Yeah. And then
with his slingshot.
Yep.
To protect sheep.
Correct. Yeah.
And as practice.
He was a shepherd, and his brothers used to clown him for that shit.
So
bitch ass David, he's not gonna kill Goliath. And he was like, let me show you some shit.
Let no one lose heart.
This is literally words from the Bible. David then heart, ye cometh and let me show you some shit. And then he shot down Goliath. These are all facts. And
that's Jeremiah 17:40.
And then so the harp was, did he play the harp or something?
No,
I can't remember
it's
that.
called lyre. Lyre.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a mini harp.
It's like a ukulele.
It's like a ukulele, of harps. It is. It's like a ukulele of harps. And apparently,
it's a lot of reggae singers.
I don't know because this was a little bit before my time.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently he played this instrument and just murdered fucking lions and bears and giants and shit. Like, Dave was a gangster. Look at
Hell yeah. Did you ever hear about how he stole someone's wife?
I should have left something unfinished so Sergio would like it. I should have left 4 sketch lines in the elbow.
Yeah, maybe the nipple is like not as rendered.
You know what though? I render out when I decided to become a visual artist like this. I didn't want to have any guesswork in my paintings. You know, so many times people will go see art and it's just like there's just a lot of guesswork in it. And I wasn't trying to do paintings. When I started, I'm trying to do paintings for money, straight up. Do my paintings because I think they're fucking good and people will buy them and put them in their house.
Right.
So I'm not just trying to, when I'm first doing my paintings, I'm not trying to, you know, be so like wildly expressive.
Right. Or clever for clever's sake, kind of.
Yeah. Or just put some random ass palette knife stroke in there for no reason. You know, like I want it to be concise and no guesswork. Where someone looks at it, their opinion either hinges on if they love the concept or they don't, but they can't flex on the execution of it. Even somebody that doesn't like this painting at all, they'll look at it and they'll say, well, at least it's done good.
So if I was to give it a critique, a legitimate critique, because that's what you sound like you want, the only thing I would wish is that the tattoos were more like, you know, like old tattoos get kind of like faded
in.
Yeah. That would be cool. I would kind of be into that.
I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
I can show you some stuff.
I've been waiting. I make this shit up as I go.
Same with me. I mean, I wasn't
Sergio.
I didn't have a semester in the Academy of Art.
Bestow some of your knowledge.
Yeah, what the fuck, Sergio?
Jesus Christ. It's because it cost you so much, huh? You're not willing to give that shit away for free.
They didn't teach you how to paint tattoos at the Academy. That's
oh god, do they teach
postgraduate
you
education.
anything?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to make them look super blended. There's some people that kill it.
Yeah,
Van
yeah, for sure.
Or whatever his full name is. Like,
Sean Barber's really good.
God damn. Yeah, Barber's one.
But he paints loose. It doesn't. But yeah, Van Minen or whatever, he does
these perfect old sailor blended.
I can show you. I'm pretty sure I know how he does that
too. I think I think the medium lends a little bit more to
it does, but you could do it with acrylic. You could do it with acrylic. I'll show you. At least the little things I would be able to do. But,
all right. Well, I'm sitting here
and
waiting.
I won't even charge you like Sergio would. I'm just gonna.
You can charge me. It's be different if you can get paid or not.
Yeah, that's true. I'll charge you $1 million.
Send me an invoice.
Like $1 million?
I treat that invoice like Golden Gate fish shovels. Well, straight to the garbage can.
Wait, what was that?
I said I'll throw your bill away just like I do every other bill.
Oh.
And I'll get the knowledge. Whoop.
Get
the money up front, Josh. That's my advice.
No, that's all right.
That's good advice.
What I'll do is I'll just invoice. I'll send you an invoice of $1 million, and then every time I crash at your house or drink anything, I'll just chip away at them. Like, now you only owe me $999,000, and
that's fine.
Whatever. Yeah.
We'll just keep a running tab.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Great way to keep a friendship.
So I also wanted to talk a little bit about your parents, just because I know your parents. You know them? And I love your parents.
And they're fucking a million times cooler than I would hope to be.
And I think what you are is you're literally like the exact outcome of what your two parents would create. Your sister, she's like I don't know how she became who she is. Because if I met your parents, I'd be like, yeah, their son's probably going to be a wild artist child, lightweight hippie, slightly cowboy, with a dash of cayenne pepper.
And Tupac.
Thug life patted on your chest. But yeah, so I know your dad's name is, what's your dad's name again? I always call him Guy.
That's his name.
See, it's so confusing. I literally just found out that Monty Guy's name is Monty Guy is your first name.
Yes. And Monty Guy is my first and my middle. Look at my grandpa was Montague, or is Montague.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom shifted it to be, my dad's name is Guy. Mm-hmm. So my mom made up this new name, Monty Guy, instead of Montague.
That's awesome.
And that's it. So, and yeah, and even my mom says sometimes, oh, she talks me up so much, dude. She'd tell someone, "Oh, go look at my son's artwork online. His artist name is Monty Guy." I said, "Mom, that's my name. Like, that's not my artist name. That's the name you gave me. Like, that's just my regular name. But it's not my artist name."
I thought your last name was Guy.
That's what I would have assumed.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of artist friends of yours right now being like, wait, hold the fuck up.
So let them think that.
No, too late. I've already cracked that egg.
No, but they don't know what my last name really is, so they'll never find me. Look me up. Try it.
So it's Monty Guy Wilbertson.
Yeah, Wilbertson. You know why I don't use my last name on nothing? Because I haven't paid taxes since 2005.
Ooh, you should not. We'll cut that out.
Don't cut that out. It's my life goal to die without paying taxes.
Yeah, but it's not good to put it out there.
Why not?
The IRS
Come and find me.
Huh?
Come and find me.
All right.
California's a big state. I'm a CA bitch. Try to find me.
Sorry, guys. My son, Mello.
Your son Monty.
Hey, I'm the illegitimate one.
He interrupted our podcast. We had to push pause for a second.
It happens. He's a beast.
But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about your parents a little bit. Kind of maybe bring up your upbringing.
Good.
Your mom, she's pretty much full on
Charmaine.
Hippie. Yeah, Charmaine.
She's full on what?
Hippie. I would say. Is that fair to say?
I mean, yes, but she was that way without knowing hippies.
Right. That's just her natural state.
Yeah.
She's born in Santa Cruz, grew up in the wilderness, and she's a feral child.
We'll do it.
She was I think her mom is the moon.
Yeah.
And the stars raised her.
She was the moon.
Yeah.
And my pop is born in Montana. He's a little bit more, cowboyish, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. He's definitely got that cool old cowboy guy feel to him.
Yeah.
Which whenever I meet,
he gave me a gun before a bike, I think. Hey, you're 7 now. It's shotgun time.
Yeah. He's like, you're like, I wanted a bike. He's like, those are not safe. We'll wait till you get your legs underneath you, then we'll get
a bike. It's like, how you gonna have the energy to ride a bike without shooting birds to eat?
Yeah.
Like, now you got it twisted.
You need your protein, kid.
Hey, growing up in Bakersfield, Bakersfield is a type of city in this state that gets a lot of people frowning on it.
Right?
Because it's some backwoods redneck town in the middle of a very liberal state. Well, it wasn't that bad growing up there, I tell you that. It was fucking awesome. It really was.
Nice.
They could hunt, fish, swim in the river constantly. It was good.
I've been doing it a bunch of times. I've done some painting events there. People are super nice. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, there's a Kern County plein air event.
Damn, Sergio, elaborate.
Yeah, it's I got invited to do it a couple of years in a row, and just explored the wonderful county of Kern while I was there, and actually really like the Lake Isabella, Kernville area.
Yeah,
it's beautiful up there.
Tehachapi?
Yeah,
wonderful. Yeah, that area is awesome, man. Believe. That whole Canyon Drive. That's some rare shit. People don't know that exists right here in California.
They have a really good brewing company in Kernville.
They do. Kern River Brewing Company.
Yep, exactly.
They win awards all the time. Like, they rival you up here. Santa Rosa's got a lot. Russian River and all
pretty
that.
Lucky.
Yeah, they do. But there's some hidden gems out there in Bakersfield, of all places.
Because you know what? Whenever I say I was brought up in Bakersfield, everybody just says, yeah, I cruise through there.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's 90% of my interaction with Bakersfield.
Whenever I go through Bakersfield, I roll up my windows because I don't want Bakersfield to rub off on me at all.
It would do good for you.
How dare you?
It would. It do look good for you. Get a little redneck dust on you.
Shit, I grew up in Los Banos. Oh, I went to Los Banos for high school. We have enough hillbilly and cowboy out there for the rest of my life. I experienced it. I got some good friends out there that were very cowboy, and I mean, I don't hate on them. There's something good about the agricultural part of California. There's hard workers out there and all that good stuff.
There is a lot of money in fruit and nuts out there too.
Yeah,
more than you know, bro. More than you know, bro. For real.
Avocado.
Yeah. I went to a school with people who had already their own jet a senior year. For real, off ag money. They're big boys spending.
Damn,
I believe that.
They're driving H1 Hummers, Dodge Vipers to school. Fuck.
They usually put you up in host housing when you do plein air events like that. And so I was staying a couple years in a row with the same family, and the guest house that they put me up is probably bigger than the house I live in right now. So, like, they have like mansions out there with pools and everything.
And you wouldn't think it. You wouldn't think that people say, Bakersfield, everybody beats on me. Oh my God, I'm sorry for you. You know, people up in the city. And now I'm 34. I moved to San Francisco at 17. I had half my life and you know, my early years, I lived in this little town called Glenville, which is a little ranch town. But in any case, I had half my life there, half my life here. Well, I mean, barring the little Hawaii and Hollywood shit in between.
Yeah.
But my point being is, it's like I got the urban and the rural. It's a good combo. I feel it's good. I feel that people that be raised only urban, it's not that good. You got to get a little bit of like
a little snobbery involved.
Yeah, you need to know how to go tie a fish hook and like build a fire and shit. Like you need to know that.
Yeah.
In life, just in general, even in 2018, you still need to know that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, eat a fish with its head on. That's a big thing.
Sometimes you're Tongan.
Well, yeah, sometimes
so maybe that's cultural to you. White boys don't eat head-on fish. But.
Well, that's racist, but true.
Pale facers.
Yeah, pale facers.
Should I adopt the name? Feels good.
Yeah, I don't know if we came up with that at your house. I don't remember who said it first.
You.
Oh,
that makes sense.
But I just remember being like, that is the best thing I've ever thought of.
Yeah, we got to get Sergio over to my studio.
Yeah,
definitely.
So we can jump him into
jump
a gang.
You in, Bo? We got to jump you in.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, you might die, but
you'll live. But you'll live.
I might die, but I'll live.
No. Yeah. Probably.
We're going to beat you till you die, and then you're going to live.
Yeah, then we'll bring you back.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you'll only paint in black and white, because once you've seen death, you realize there's no need for color.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about this. There used to be a gallery called Gauntlet Gallery.
Oh, yeah.
It's
still there.
It's closed.
Oh, it's closed?
It's closed.
Since when?
I don't know, but I went by there probably 3 weeks ago, and it's closed up.
Oh, no way. Huh.
So I don't know, me and Alec, I think, we did an opening there, and
I went to that.
I was out. Yeah, I know. This is where I bring it up. It's about you, because I was standing out front, and here comes Josh walking up the middle of the street. This is Tenderloin, you know.
Yeah.
So super
Josh
classy.
comes. Tenderloin for people that don't know. It's an edgy neighborhood. So here comes Josh walking up the street in socks, and me and at this point in time, still me and Josh are kind of the, you know, drinkingest, rowdiest ones at the gallery openings.
I feel like I'm still kind of.
So you walking up, I'm like, you're in socks, my brother. Here comes MJ, right, like a block behind, in Josh's shoes, holding high heels. Woo, woo, woo. You remember this? She goes, I can't wear my high heels no more. Oh, yeah. I got it. I switch.
That's her at every show.
That's some motherfucking love. I was like, these two are just like, that's it. That's like some star-crossed lover type shit. You guys are combined. You just were walking through socks through some hypodermic needle-infested neighborhood just so your old lady can have motherfucking shoes on her feet. So she don't have to have blisters off the high heel.
Yeah, well, one of the advantages that we live together now is whenever we go to art shows and I see you wearing heels, I'm like, did you pack your fucking flip-flops?
Yes.
Just because of that reason. We didn't live together at the time, so we'd meet up somewhere, and then it's like, she's wearing her heels, trying to look cute, and 30 minutes into the night, I'm like, here's my shoes, let's go. But I got fucking, like, my feet are, the skin on the bottom of my feet, hypodermic needles would not be able to penetrate that.
Solid foot. So
exactly. It's a nice island foot.
I don't know if it's race, but I mean, you pale facers like to bring up race a lot. I'm just kidding.
That's all I talk about.
But yeah, so also another thing I wanted to talk about, there's something that happened on Facebook that we were supposed to bring up last week, and
yep, everybody's been waiting with bated breath.
I'm still kind of curious about what this is, because I only go on Facebook to talk to my family and say like happy birthday to my mom and my brother Bailey. They just had their birthdays. Happy birthday. Also, Monty's dad's birthday just happened yesterday, so
they did.
Happy birthday, guy.
Oh, gee.
But yeah, so what happened on Facebook, Sergio? That is so scandalous here. Sounds like drama. But
yeah, so I caused some trouble on Facebook a couple weeks ago.
You caused trouble?
I didn't try to, but
I thought this Facebook drama was about.
Well, allow me to elaborate.
Wait,
Before you elaborate, any motherfucker that stress you, Sergio, I will turn their lights out, homie. That's me.
Now that I'm going to be jumped in, you got my back. So, I get emails from all sorts of different painting organizations, and some of them are for painting competitions. I just like to know what's going on in the plein air world, even if I'm not in it all the time. So, this one came in to my inbox, and it was for California plein air painters. They do like a online show where you just submit your paintings to it, and they do the judging online. And they don't necessarily have to be plein air paintings, but they do have to be paintings. So this one came in, and I looked at the thumbnail. I was like, that doesn't look like a plein air painting. It looks like something that was painted off of a photo. And so I looked it up, and here, I'll just pass this over to you. Take a look at that.
That's a painting?
There's a painting?
Does it look like a painting to you?
It looks like a photograph.
It looks like a slight weight. It looks like a painting in the boat, but the water does not look like a painting.
Let me see it again.
Right.
But it could be. I mean, motherfuckers out there today.
That looks like, you know, when you put a picture in a Photoshop?
It's like a Photoshop filter.
Exactly.
That is it? I can't tell.
I have, don't know.
How can you tell these days?
I don't know 100%, but every sign that I look at it makes me believe that it's just to run through a bunch of filters to make it look like a painting somewhat. Like, zoom in on it. If you look at like the water especially, you look like that. Any of those look like brushstrokes to you?
The boat in the boathouse.
Well, if it is a painting, my apologies, but.
Well, here's the deal. I can't paint water this good, and I'm basically the best painter I know.
Yeah.
So
except for that.
If I can't paint water like this, then I guarantee this motherfucker can't paint water.
Wait, but you know me.
I do know you, but you don't paint water.
But you say you're the best painter you know. I was just trying to figure. So I guess Monty's the best painter I know too. Then. I'm just fucking.
Why am I not famous yet?
Yeah, hashtag.
Goes back to this.
That's what we're here for,
people. But have you put your hands in concrete and wrote your name next to it?
100 times,
dude. All right,
At
so
least.
Let's get this hashtag going, guys. Why isn't Monty famous? Go on, let's start this shit.
Email me.
All right, so
yeah, I posted on my Facebook.
Did you call this person out for being a Photoshop filter wannabe? Why did they win the event or what?
Yeah, they got first place. So I looked at that and I was like, so this is what I posted.
Up the authenticity of the painting.
Well, apparently nobody until I called it out.
What a weak ass event, Sergio.
What the fuck?
Yeah, seriously.
Wait, what was the grand prize?
Like $150, but still, that's $150 that should go to an actual
PG&E.
painting.
That's my motherfucking PG&E right there.
Yeah. Fuck.
So I wrote on Facebook, posted it up, and I said, so a digital paint over of a photograph won a plein air painting competition.
Damn, Sergio, we went hard right away.
No wonder I don't enter these competitions anymore. So I posted a link to where you could see the painting and everything. And so other people chimed in on it, and people, Jason Avery wrote, I was outside when I snapped the pic, though. So other people asked me, like, are you sure it's a digital paint over? And I said, sure as I can be, but, has all the telltale signs of it. Everybody that's looked at it
the
here
shadow
in the room.
in the boat looks digital as fuck. That's what I'm saying.
And same with the sky. There's like these fake ass brush strokes.
Yeah.
They're like done.
Like I know, I've done Photoshop enough times. I know what the smudge tool looks like. Like you can make smudge tools look like brushwork.
Just so you guys know.
Oh, good to know.
So you're already famous. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. Let's cross that hashtag out. Monty's already famous.
My pseudonym is...
That's new hashtag. He's already famous. Yeah.
So everybody's chiming in on it.
Did you get any backlash?
Not really. Other people are like, well, let's not be like that quick to judge. If the guy can prove that it's not just a digital manipulation, then okay, that's great. But I mean, everybody who's painted, especially digital artists, they're all like, oh yeah, that's a manipulation for sure. So eventually the
what if he's some genius that paints to make things look like they're digitally? He's that good. He's like, I could paint this super realistic, but I'm just gonna paint it like if it was a photograph that's been digitally altered by Photoshop, and you guys fucking called them out. And now they're just with about to kill himself and make it onto one of those YouTube videos that people get angry about and all this shit just because of you, Sergio.
It ain't him.
So you're saying we're going to find him in a Japanese forest one day?
Yeah, exactly.
Possibly.
You ain't going to find him. That's not what happened.
Fucked up.
So one of my friends, Tanya, is the person who runs the California Plein Air Painters. She runs the website. So she wrote, this was not a plein air competition. It was open to studio work as well. 3 judges jury the show. Neither of them raised an issue. I'd like to know how you can prove this is a digital work. The artist will be disqualified if you can prove this is not a painting.
It was $150. I never proved shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a digital painting.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, the judges should know fucking better.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes I get angry at like...
How do you know who the judges are? The judge could be a 12-year-old girl in her fucking mom's basement being like, I'm judging my
Well, guess what?
Actually, the names of the judges were in the email. So those judges actually follow me on Facebook. So eventually they chimed in.
No one chimes in on my comments on Facebook. Or on not Facebook. I don't ever go on there. But on Instagram, I try to get fools to chime in on shit.
Yeah.
I talk shit to people constantly. Very rarely do people chime in on me.
I have the same issue on my MySpace. Barely anyone, not even my top...
We got dead fucking commentators out there.
Not even my top 9. They're not even out there trying to talk to me. I'm like, I'm not going to post on MySpace if you guys don't talk to me anymore. I mean, we're going through the same struggle, different place.
I try to cause controversy on Instagram. I go to Colin Kaepernick's page. I talk to this motherfucker like he's my own homie. I'm like, dude, you looking stupid right now. Like, you look like the media's version of a Black Panther. You look like authentic. You look like someone you dressed up to be. And then, I don't get no response.
Yeah, that was another funny thing you do. I remember you told us that you go onto celebrities' pages and then slide into their DMs and no responses.
Constantly.
So wait, what did the judges say? Sorry.
So one of the judges chimed in. She goes, so I was one of the judges for the show and I wanted to weigh in on this thread. Sorry I could not do it yesterday, but it's not available all day. I've been judging art for years for online competitions and in person at local clubs, and this is the first time, but not the board or an organizer for the club. I volunteered to judge the show, taking hours of my life to review over 100 images in a 2-step process. CPAP, California Plein Air Painters, like most clubs, use an online service for judging. That service has the entries listed using the numbers. None of the artists' names are listed, and as someone pointed out in the thread, the guy's name is Edward Duarte. Edward Duarte's paintings were not signed. This made it impossible for me to check a website or see other examples of his art. Also, the images are small and I could enlarge them, but the enlargement was not the size that was on the CPAP website. In fact, the largest image I could see was substantially smaller than the image that was on the link in this thread. I remember looking at both Duarte's images and not being able to see the same details that I could see on the CPAP website. That being said, I want to thank Sergio for bringing this into the open. I will certainly take this experience and use it in the future to question entries, even when I have no real evidence. It's only a feeling. Yeah, I'm thinking of things right now. Like, if you had your suspicions even then, like, why are you giving it first place? But
yeah.
She says, I'm not sure what service was used for this competition. I'm not familiar with the other judging service, but larger images would certainly help. And I said, like, that was so obvious, even at a small level, that was a photo manipulation. Like, just being able to zoom in on it was that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's just
Sergio,
tough.
I appreciate you being vocal in your plein air little dynamic or whatever, like your little group is, because too much people in the art world be not vocal.
Yeah, that's true.
They keep their mouth shut about shit they don't like, or people be acting up. Like I heard you guys in your previous podcast talking about this fool from White Walls. You know, I would hear stories about this motherfucker for a while. He did this, he did that. You know, from friends of mine even. He owes me money, he owes me money.
He was like,
dude,
City of San
why
Francisco
don't you
money.
just go fucking get your money? Even if you don't pick up your money,
right?
You could go approach this fool. People, I don't know why they were so scared to talk up. One time I was with a friend of mine who he always pronounced her name wrong. And this idiot's name was Justin. The first and only time I ever met him face to face. We saw him. We were going into a foreign cinema. This restaurant is brunch restaurant in San Francisco. So we're on our way in. This guy's out front having a drink. We walk up. He pronounces her name wrong. She introduces me, and I'm like,
the owner of White Walls you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
His name was Justin, right? So he pronounced her name wrong. So right away when I met him, I'm like, it's nice to meet you, Justine. And he looked at me all crooked. And this fool thought he was like, you know, on like the top of the world type shit. I mean, nothing to me.
Yeah.
I slapped the brakes off this motherfucker. Like so he just looked at me kind of sideways a bit. That was that. I never had any personal interaction with him, but I had friends of mine that owed money by him. I say, just say the word. The next opening this fool has, I'll go in, take 2 paintings off the wall, and walk out. And I'll hold these paintings at my house and say, now you have an issue with the painter. Now you have an issue with me. And you have an issue with someone else that you owe money to. I'm not going to mention names for this current gallery owners in San Francisco, but it's some same shit going on right now. Same thing. Where I have gallery owners owing friends of mine money, and the friends of mine are like sweet girls, you know, like not edgy type girls.
Right.
I'm like, you're trying to get over on the people you know you can.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I tell these friends of mine, give me the word. Motherfucker's not going to owe you that much money anymore. Yeah. If he owes you money still, he's going to be owing now money for the paintings off his gallery wall during the opening. I'll walk in that bitch. I'll take 4 paintings off the wall and walk out.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not down for that type of behavior.
Yeah. There is this like shitty thing that happens where artists, I think it's because of the artist's reputation, but they get this like they just get taken advantage of.
Oh, for sure.
That's why I enjoy working with galleries they're just businesses on point.
Yeah.
That to me is like, if I try to work with you once and shit goes like a little where I gotta ask for money or whatever, then I'm like, all right, I'm not working with you ever again. Yeah.
It's even harder when you're dealing with a gallery that's not in your area too.
Yeah, but and I'm like a big fucking guy, you know. I think people just need to have
I've never had a gallery mess with me at all. Money-wise, work-wise, anything.
Yeah. Fortunately, I haven't either.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened to me yet.
But maybe, I mean, I am worried if they do.
Another of the judges chimed in, too. He goes, this is where it gets interesting. I was one of the judges for this online event. Thought I'd prefer to wait until I had all the information to effectively resolve this issue. Here's some background on my perspective. This was a 2-step judging process where links to the entries were loaded onto an Excel online spreadsheet. I was unable to view the entries on my computer without completely downloading each image. There were approximately 200 images submitted. When I explained this to the administrator, he suggested I use my phone. As a result, all my assessments were made in tandem, viewing images on my phone while scoring the images through my computer. I was not familiar with the entrants or their previous work. I was charged with sorting through images to determine those that exhibited artistic and technical merit. Though I've judged many events, I still may be naive when it comes to guarding against this type of infraction.
What I want to say is, I think that, I remember when we talked with Jason Avery, this kind of came up a little bit about art competitions. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I mean, I think it's just weird in general that there's competitions that artists, potentially have to find certain income through having people judge their work. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It seems weird, and
it's tough.
And at the same time, like, I don't know these judges, so I don't want to talk shit about them, but
just the whole idea of it
qualifies you to judge artwork.
You were asked to, basically.
Yeah, I know, but at the same time,
that's the qualification.
I guess, but that wasn't a ton of money, obviously, but but I don't know. It's too just fucking weird, because what I like in art, I assume there's very few that are going to be exactly this, are going to like the same exact things as I like. And I don't know if 3 people should be in charge of judging a group of artists. I don't know, would you say like 200 people? Mm-hmm. To me, that seems weird, and I'm assuming 200 people, a good chunk of those people were talented artists.
I steer away from it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've never actually
not that I've ever even tried to do any competition. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you why, because I don't trust the judge's judgment.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah.
Like, who is this motherfucker judging shit? Let me see what that folk could create.
Right.
Yeah.
I guarantee I can paint better pictures with my feet than this motherfucker who's trying to judge my painting.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not even an artist who judges a painting.
Yeah.
They're like,
So I'm not even trying
and
to
that's
fuck
one
with
of
it.
those things where I think it's tough, like, to judge. It's like, I don't understand how people can judge art without understanding how difficult it is to do what you're doing. So some things you can do art-wise, and it might just look good, but it's not actually that hard. You know what I mean?
sure, yeah.
And then other things are very difficult. So when I look at another person's painting, I'm like, I'm trying to like break down how that painting is made. And some parts I'm like, I have no idea how they did that. Or like, even if I kind of understand how they did it, I'm like, ooh, that took a ton of practice to get it as good as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you're a judge and you're judging artwork and technique isn't a part of your judging because you have no idea how to paint, then why should I respect that? Just because it's like any other art form, right? There is a technical side to art. And when you listen to music, when you eat at a restaurant where it's supposed to be, a high-end restaurant where the chef is like a Michelin star, whatever, and has like 3 Michelin stars, whatever, or fucking 1, you don't get to just put slop on the plate and say, trust me,
It's good.
it's good. And I get to be like, yeah. And not only that, but the judges that are judging this, the food critics, I am assuming that they actually know how to cook.
Right.
People that judge music like the Grammys and stuff, even though I might not agree with it because there is some politicking to it, but you have to assume that they're a part of this music industry and that they know how to create music in one way or another. Same with the Oscars. You assume like Tom Hanks is is a part of the Academy. The judges.
Yeah.
And they have like all these like people that are part of the film industry that understand what it takes to create a film. But is everyone judging all this artwork? Do they have any concept as to how to create stuff? I mean, if you do, much respect to you. And I feel like most people that are creating probably aren't taking the time to judge some shit unless it's like some really quick stuff.
I've also
Like
felt
BET
too, though,
rap battles.
at least about these art competitions, is my paintings aren't artsy enough to go into them. Like the people that I see, they're like, I won this portrait award. I did this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it looks like you painted a portrait to win the portrait award.
Do you guys remember?
You
remember
left
those?
just the right amount of shit undone. Like just
Right.
and you know
point.
what? There's amazing fucking artists out there.
Yeah.
The thing of it is, like, everybody having these gadget phones now is that you're available to see the cream of the crop of every little corner of the world.
Mm-hmm.
You could have some dude in Dagestan in a hut,
Yeah.
just drawn with coffee and a fucking homemade horse hairbrush.
Yeah.
And he's doing some ill shit, and then we get to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And like
true.
all of a sudden, this motherfucker's the bomb because he is.
Right.
Like we're so over fed of beautiful art. Well, what I do if I ever try to be in a portrait competition, it's like, nah, it ain't that. It's not. You aren't rural enough. Okay. Like there's not, like you said, the paintings you like is left some of it open,
Right.
left some of the work showing.
Sure. Yeah.
See, I try to take all that out of my paintings. So the person looking at the painting, 99 out of 100 people looking at my paintings are not painters.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't want them to look at the painting
And think,
And then-
why isn't it done yet?
and then think, well, this little area is undone. Like what, why would I spend $3,000 on a painting that's
Right.
3/4 finished? I want someone to not have no guesswork. Look at the painting, love it, or they don't.
Yeah.
But
That's one way to look at it.
there's no guesswork in it. They don't look at it and have to decipher anything. They look at it, they love it, or they don't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
I
Yeah.
feel like for me that works very well because I find real quick the people that like my art and that they don't.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah, and that goes back to, we've been talking about this before, just like you're naturally prone to however you paint. You paint black and white, you paint to completion and all this stuff. and you enjoy doing that, so do it. You know, and then there's enough people in the world to where you should have a group of people that if they like it, they like it, and if not, then keep moving because there's at least like 50 people in the world. You know, if not more.
7
I'm not
billion.
counting. Oh, I was close. Round up.
Santa Rosa is a small community. I know it's hard for you to look outside of it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
7 billion.
Okay. I'm just saying I don't keep track of how many people in the world. I just assumed, you know,
there was 50.
Yeah, at least. But I'm not gonna assume any more because I'm not a scientist. But you know what that competition thing kind of reminds me of? My brother, he's super into video games, and he used to always get these video game magazines, and then they would have like a drawing competition.
Oh yeah, I remember those. I think I might have entered one of those too.
Oh, that's cool. That's the only like actual art competition I can think of because I don't know if I'm just not in that world.
No, not really.
But yeah,
I thought art school was going to be a competition.
It probably was.
After a certain point, it gets more competitive.
And, you know, and they made me take dumbass classes too.
Yeah,
I had to take drama.
They just fit you in with everybody.
Computer. Yeah, dude, I had to take on stage. They assume that everybody shit like on stage. How you doing? Do something without no words. I was like, man, this ain't for me. Like, I'm here to try to be a painter.
Right.
I figured I'm done with all this nonsensical bullshit of what I already had to do, which I didn't even technically graduate high school. I had to go to night school, junior college to get my diploma. You know,
you got it.
Like, I'm not a school person. You know, you like school a lot.
I do.
I'm not a school person for real. And maybe it's because of my arrogance or whatever the fuck. I always thought I was way better at shit than the people trying to teach me. I was like, dude, you know the little shred of junior year history because you studied it. But that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I see you when we get out of school at the gym. You don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? I see you at 24-hour fitness when we're out of school. You don't know shit, but you're just another dummy in the street.
Who are you talking about? Like, what's his name? Mr. what?
Mr. Phillips.
Yeah, Mr. Phillips, you know shit.
No, but this fool actually was kind of gangster because in high school, I started this thing. My parents had a house about 2 blocks away from the high school. So this was pre even the Fight Club movie where I started this gathering after school called our Fight Club, where my parents got us boxing gloves and headgear and everything, and we would meet in my parents' front yard after school and beat the shit out of each other. Anybody that was having beef in school, any of the football players, whoop. So Mr. Phillips one day, he's having an issue with one of the students. He tells him, I'm going to come over to my folks' house after school. I'm going to box your ass over it. This fool showed up. This fool came over to my parents' house after school and put on boxing gloves and boxed the student.
What?
It was fucking amazing.
That is crazy. That's
super cool.
Can't do that anymore.
No, you can't. And it got to a point where they every day after school, they get on a loudspeaker and say, any student affiliated with sports that's caught doing Fight Club over at the Dobas residence is going to be suspended off of sports. Whoop-de-whoop.
Well, first rule about Fight Club. I mean, read the handbook, people.
About that shit, fool. Are you kidding me? After a month in, we had schools coming from all over the city. We had inner city beef coming over and squashing that shit off boxing gloves. It was amazing.
Yeah. Yep.
It was.
While talking about teachers, I wanted to bring up my teacher, Miss Foster. She reached out to me on Instagram because I was talking shit about art teachers. Yeah. But I think at one point I was like, yeah, there was one good teacher, and she was the one good teacher. She's like, oh, hope you weren't talking about me. And I just wanted to say shout out to Miss Foster. She was the only good art teacher at Bonus High School. And
right on.
There you go.
My high school art teacher.
She tried.
Failed me 3 years in a row.
I had a couple art teachers.
No wonder you don't like art school.
You know what this fool did? Some sneaky shit. He was working on his own self-portrait, which was horrible. And he knew I had a little knack for art. He tells me we were doing it. Everybody had to paint the same old scenery. A busted-ass barbed wire fence and a tree and some little grass pasture. So I have to walk around and make sure all the kids are doing what they should be doing. Not making a mess with group. So at the end of when our paintings are due, I don't have one due because I'm just walking around every day while he's working on his self-portrait. So this fool gives me an F, which And this is the same motherfucker who would give me 6 packs of Heineken during lunch break to go clean out the art studio. They'd be like, lunch break, I go to the art office.
Everybody's dirty laundry is getting aired out this
son
episode.
Of a bitch.
What was his name?
Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown. You just been caught.
We're naming
Mr.
names
Mark
on this
Brown.
podcast.
See me.
No one's safe.
He failed me. I failed all my art classes. I got kicked out of art school. And I'm still being an artist. Kids.
Wait, what?
Yeah, look at it. I'm saying to the kids.
Oh.
All the fucking kids that listen to your podcast. All the fucking 12-year-old aspiring kids. Hey, they can't hold you down.
Yeah.
All these Mr. Browns can't hold you down.
Spread your wings and fly. Mr. Brown is a clown who rides through town.
No, but
coffin.
to be honest, I could draw from the fucking moment I could even walk. And that's why I got pushed so hard. It's because my family was astonished. They would be like, damn, homie. Like, they really loved it. Look, I used to draw on the walls. I get an ass whooping. And then quickly it turned from being a kid, getting a whooping to being like, just draw more. Just keep drawing, keep drawing, keep drawing. You know, my dad, in the morning, he'd wake up, go to work. My mom would go get me a case of spray paint and say, spray paint the street to look like a river with fish swimming in it and whatnot. My mom would drive me down to the train yard to spray paint trains.
That's illegal.
Whatever, fool. I'm not Ricoing my mom. Get around some Rico shit. She gave me graffiti material back when I was a child. But
graffiti's illegal, kids. Don't do it.
But that's real. And my dad, he's a super supporter too. But right away, right away, my mom was supportive. She'd say, paint my house, paint the garage door, paint whatever you wanted to paint. I was given no restrictions.
So I'll just wrap up the story quick as I can. So the judge, that same judge I was telling us about how he does how he had to judge it that janky way. He goes, I was surprised to learn that the artist who submitted this piece was also the same person who administered this judging process. Beginning with the technical difficulty I had judging the event and the result, I'm not pleased. CPAP is working to resolve this issue, and I'll be happy to move on. I have stuff to do.
Wait, so the person who did that boat drawing, was it the judge?
He was the guy who gave the organization, like the software or whatever that they use to judge.
Did he also give him the $150?
Yeah, no kidding.
He's like making a competition and then winning it, and he's.
Is this motherfucker local? Because I'm finna go knock this one around.
He's actually not too far away. Do you want to drive up to Mendocino? Find him?
I got that Mini Cooper.
Yeah, exactly. You've been peeling out 100 miles an hour. That'll only take you an hour or two.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It was, $150?
Yeah. So Tanya, the CPAP owner, said, we've revised the results. Jurors should not be blamed. Their ability to see and judge the paintings was limited due to poor online service that was used to see the submitted images. Also, the parameters under which the jurors had to judge the event weren't very clear. So, she basically said that she took the title away from the guy and he
gave
was
it to you.
Disqualified from doing the show again.
I guess the only question I have is, how long have you been a snitch, Sergio?
Whatever. That don't matter.
But
I'm just kidding.
A couple more things about this guy.
That was not a good judgment.
Yeah.
A couple more things about this guy. So somebody who is also following the Facebook thread did her own sleuthing and found his website, this thing called Masters of Plein Air, where he runs a school with a couple other painters.
Oh, no.
And so I looked at some of the paintings that he had on there, and one of the paintings that he was using as
a demo.
Yeah, like as an example of his work. I did this is some real snitch shit. I did some Google reverse image.
Anybody got a problem with you? I'll slap the motherfucker silly.
So I looked it up, and he basically took an old master painting from like 100 years ago and slapped his signature on it.
Sweet.
And so
that's a good move.
Yeah. And
I do that all the time.
So
you kidding me?
I also found examples of his actual paintings. You want to scroll through and look at those here.
Let me see. Garbage.
Wait, how do I scroll?
Scroll right, like just swipe right. Yeah.
That's digital too.
Yeah, exactly. And that was on the homepage of his website.
That's not even digital art. That's a motherfucking Photoshop.
Exactly.
That's an Instagram filter.
Under adjustments.
That's brilliant.
It's under adjustments, filters, cutout.
Yeah.
That's what that shit's called.
Yeah.
That's a no, fuck that. So I'll break that fucking iPad. I'm not even trying to see that, Sergio. And anybody trying to flex on you like that? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Sergio.
Why
are you even wasting your time with those motherfuckers? That fool did a stupid ass little painting. Look at your paintings. Look at your paintings.
Who else was going to call him out, though?
You're battling with mice, fool. Lions don't give a shit about mice. What the fuck are you worried
Well,
about?
except for the cowardly lion.
All I did was put it out in the open.
I mean, you gotta mention it because he's a lion.
No, he's false.
You got
Cowardly lion. You a pussy dressed up.
Hey.
So this came across my Facebook yesterday, actually. So the National Gallery, I believe in Washington, D.C., they canceled a Chuck Close show because apparently he's now part of the Me Too movement because he got allegations of sexual misconduct. So what happened?
From who?
Does it have the other? It talks a little bit more in the other article. Okay.
You're not gonna throw Chuck Close under the bus.
So is it legitimate? I mean, because he's like
several women complained.
He's got like no up
that
like
the celebrated artist known for his outsized portraits asked them to pose naked and made inappropriate sexual comments.
Oh my god!
So all right.
My response off the cuff to those models would be, you should be so fucking lucky to be in Chuck Close's presence, and if he commented on your naked beauty, you should take it as a complete compliment, and if you were not cool with that, then you should exit the room immediately and get your punk ass a million miles away from Mr. Chuck Close, the crown-wearing motherfucker who could do whatever he fucking wants in my eyes. Boss-ass bitch. You kidding me?
I don't agree with that, but...
Whatever. I'm not the most PC motherfucker there is.
No, it's
I
not
don't
PC.
know what the story entails, but Jesus Christ, if Chuck Close sexually harassed me, that would go on my headstone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean...
Well... So, 2 women recently told the New York Times that Mr. Close had asked them to model naked for him, requests that made them feel exploited and uncomfortable. And on Tuesday, HuffPost published similar accounts from women, including one who described stripping in front of Mr. Close. HuffPost recorded that he moved toward her in his wheelchair so that his head was inches away from her vagina, and he said it looks delicious. There's a couple more stories if you scroll down. But he basically said, that's what he said,
He's in a fucking wheelchair, dude. If you feel sexually inappropriated, you could leave the room. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck?
Well, this is what he said back to him.
Bitches. I'm not down for it.
He said, "I'm inviting them to my studio to audition. I don't have a camera there, so I have to see their bodies. It's a very expensive process. I've never had a complaint in 50 years, not one. Last time I looked, discomfort was not a major offense. I never reduced anyone to tears. No one ever ran out of the place. If I embarrassed anyone or made them feel uncomfortable, I'm truly sorry. I didn't mean to. I acknowledge having a dirty mouth, but we're all adults."
Here's the deal. If you're getting sexually harassed by someone in a wheelchair, walk away.
Right. Not only that,
but a little bit more.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if that's sexual harassment, but
whatever, dude. I get sexually harassed all the fucking time.
I would have to think about it. I don't know.
But it's coming from a person who holds Chuck Close. There's 3 gods I got.
Jesus.
Lil Wayne,
oh, whoa.
Chuck Close, and Jesus Christ, obviously our Lord and Savior.
Obviously, I mean,
there's 3 gods.
So Chuck Close is one of your number one.
And
dudes.
to be honest,
he's amazing.
He holds
artist,
75%.
Sure.
The other 2 split, the remaining.
All right,
25.
fair enough.
So
the remaining 25. Yeah, Lil Wayne's got 13.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ got 0.5.
I feel like Jesus should have less.
Chuck Close is the motherfucking man. You know what? But they also Stan Lee's right here too. Stan Lee.
Oh,
93.
That's
He's getting
true.
called out by his 2 living nurses saying he's constantly hauled around from his room to give them blowjobs. But you know what? There's a lot of lying ass bitches out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not on anyone's side on this really. I have no idea what went down.
right.
But I am obligated to think that they have to prove what they're saying. I don't just take anyone's word. So, and, it's kind of complicated when it comes to this stuff, but for the most part, this doesn't seem like anything substantial at all. It sounds like potentially it's one phrase or there's two people, so maybe two phrases he's said. I have no idea, but and somehow this affects him in some great way. I think it's just people are super overcorrecting right now.
You're looking at a guy who has been doing nude live modeling drawings since 60s.
And if Picasso and Dali were alive today, I feel like there's a ton of stories on them that seem way more shittier than
my
this.
point being is, maybe he did say some shit that was like, whatever he may have said, but the problem is if, at least in my mind, the spectrum has been too broad. The spectrum it's just too broad.
Yeah.
You can't just say to someone something that is offensive to them verbally and then have them stretch that into being like, this is sexual misconduct. That's verbal. Whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Yep. There's definitely
words. Remember that old phrase, sticks and stones? Like, leave the room. It's just words. You know how much stupid people say shit to me constantly when I'm walking around downtown San Francisco, how much shit I just have to let go off, water on a duck's back.
You're a human.
You gotta do that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, in some ways words are powerful, in others it's like, you just gotta deal with whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure these girls are perfectly fine. I don't think anything negative was an outcome of their experience with Chuck Close. So, I mean, I guess sexual harassment is mostly being in a workplace and kind of having someone of power objectify you or whatever, right? Based on the fact that he has power over you. But at least in my experiences, the artist relationship with the model is very I have no power over them. I mean, Chuck Close, obviously, he's way more established than any of us.
Dude, what power does Chuck Close have coming from a motherfucking Stephen Hawking?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he is.
That's my point being with
like
this particular
paraplegic or something.
I think it's kind of like
uncomfortable. They could literally just walk away slowly and alleviate the situation.
Yeah.
They could just walk into the next room and close the door.
Yeah.
What is he going to do?
But I think specifically, all of us, we probably hold Chuck Close as like a hero or like, some kind of iconic artist.
A respectable artist, at least.
Yeah.
At the very
least.
And
so
really, Sergio?
We appreciate him as
He's
an
more
artist.
than that.
So, well, no, I'm just saying, like, in the art world, like, even if you're not...
I can show you his MoMA exhibit on my phone.
I've seen it.
It's fucking retarded.
I've seen a lot of amazing Chuck Close.
We might be inclined to kind of have his back. Here. Is what I'm saying. We might be inclined to have his back.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what went on here. But from what I'm hearing, it sounds like he made a remark, and I don't know if that is worth anything, really. I mean, at the least...
He was taking a photo shoot of a model... and a nude model, and a dude in a wheelchair. How old is Chuck Close?
77.
Yeah, 77 is that what it says? So you got a guy in his late 70s taking a nude model shoot with somebody and he tells her pussy looks beautiful. Duh! The fuck you think he's gonna say? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm 34, I'll say that same shit. Like, I'm sorry, but...
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know the whole story, obviously. Chuck Close is major.
Yeah, I mean,
Chuck in a wheelchair. In my mind, it'd be hard for him to do no sexual harassment of anybody. If it's verbal, leave the room.
I mean, at the same time, there is predicaments where people go through some shit. I don't know if this applies. I mean,
it applies to all people, Josh. People are right now disregarding all the pale-facer fucking male people.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
don't get it twisted, homie. I tell you stories in my life that'd be. You think from a guy's perspective, you don't have this happening? It happens.
Yeah, I agree. But what I'm saying is there's people that probably have to deal with this shit, and they need the job, and I don't know their circumstance, and they feel pressure to, accept it, and that's shitty too. I don't think that's not. I don't think that's okay. I don't know. From what it looks like with this, it doesn't seem like this applies, at least to me. I might be wrong. I wasn't there. I don't fucking know, but I don't want to like make it seem like all sexual harassment is like some like just walk away from shit, because if your boss is doing it and you need the job, you got mouths to feed or whatever, then like you might have to swallow that shit and deal with it, and that's shitty too. So I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, it's case by case scenario. You know, some people might consider something that I don't consider to be offensive, and to me, I might not. But I'm not. You know, I would have to hear the whole entire story. So as far as this one, it seems like it's a little overblown. But I think that's just kind of the world we live in right now, where everything's just heightened. You know,
right?
And people are just kind of
super sensitive.
Yeah.
We live in a super sensitive society right now, where everybody be ready to just jump on everything.
Yeah. But
yeah.
It is what it is. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
speaking
maybe
for myself,
I try to implement that into my art.
As someone who's worked with a lot of models before, I mean, it wouldn't ever occur to me to be
good
lewd
point,
in a
Sergio.
way.
You work with a lot of models, obviously shooting nude.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, if I have comments like that in my head, I keep them to myself, but that's just me.
But there is this thing with art, right, where if a female artist embraces sexuality, it is embraced. But if a male embraces sexuality, it is a tiptoe
It's looked
affair.
at as like the male gaze.
Right. And
are you kidding me, dude?
And I think there has
I'm
to be a
trying to get
discussion.
fucking buff and exploit my body on painting off my own paintings. Like this young kid who his paintings, his paintings are amazing, but also he's hella ripped and he takes pictures of himself painting. Ivan something or whatever the fuck.
I have no idea.
He paints like people covered in whipped cream and whatnot.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? This motherfucker here, he makes amazing paintings.
Uh-huh.
But also, he takes hella pictures with him, like, very shirt off, like, doing his paintings. Good, you know what I'm saying? Good for him. I'll be doing the same shit. Like,
Well, you don't have to wear a shirt, Monty.
no, I'm trying to, like, sell more of my art, but I'm not trying to frighten people
Just
away.
Rick Ross it. You know what I mean?
Shit,
Just
I'm-
Rick Ross that shit.
My experience in the past with me, Rick Ross and people, is I become very ostracized, and you know what I'm saying.
I believe in you. I seen that body.
I know that you believe in me. That ain't the point. That ain't the point at all.
Well, for me, the scary part is that I do my best not to make anybody feel uncomfortable in situations like that.
For sure.
But like for Chuck Close, I'm sure he thought he was doing everything just fine. Like he said he had never gotten a complaint.
Right.
So for somebody to come out after the fact,
After 50 years, take that into consideration as well. He's never had a
Right,
complaint
yeah.
in 50 years, so you got to consider when he first started shooting photos for people.
well, it's
You know
more
what I'm
like the
saying?
consequence of something that you didn't even know you did. They could like take a museum show away from you. That's the scary part to me. Like,
Yeah.
it's something that you don't even know what you're doing.
Thank
doing
goodness
that.
Chuck Close don't give two shits if anybody takes anything from him at this point.
Well, maybe,
But-
but still, I'm
You
sure he
think
wasn't
so?
happy about it.
Well, no, you're never happy about anybody slandering your name.
Right.
But it's like, I don't know. Look at, here's this dude. He's been doing shit this way since whenever. What they say? 50 years ago or some shit? He said to have had a complaint in 50 years? Was that what he said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
I mean,
50 years ago, people were fucking mining for gold.
Yeah. I think it's just like it's a different culture now.
Yeah.
Like, things have just switched
Totally
so
different
quickly.
culture.
but I don't necessarily think Chuck Close did anything bad.
I don't think so.
And from what I've seen, I mean, maybe some other shit will come out. I'm like, oh well,
Yeah.
fuck, you know.
Yeah. Maybe.
It's like at sometimes, you know, I mean, that's like one thing with like your heroes are all flawed. It's the whole thing of like never meet your heroes, because at the end of the day, everyone's a fucking human being and everyone's got some shit on them, you know?
Yeah.
So
This thing kind of reminded me of the Aziz thing, where the girl kind of met Aziz thinking that he was going to be her hero. And
Right.
She made up the story in her head that they were probably going to date and, you know, be
Right.
an item. And the way it worked out, she ended up being uncomfortable and decided to basically, I don't know if you call it slander him, but there were a lot of consequences that came from it. I don't know if he lost any of his shows or anything, but people, like, he was getting an award for something at an award show, and people were, like, booing him. It's like,
that's weird. I mean,
it's like off of hearsay, basically.
There's definitely some good that's coming out of it and some bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
that shit don't matter, dude.
But I think
boo you one day, they celebrate you the next.
Yeah. I think the conversation is good. Yeah, I think there's got to be some pushback on some of it. But I think for the most part, like, it's good that some shit is coming out into the light. You know, like,
shit that's real bad.
Yeah,
like the Weinstein thing is like
some predators
actually awful.
Weinstein, fucking Cosby.
Yeah.
You know, all those guys
Kevin
are
Spacey.
like, Kevin Spacey. There's all this shit that's really dark that needs to get pulled out into the light. And there is some consequences of other people that I think are way overboard. Mm-hmm. And I think there's going to be some self-correcting and conversations. And
I actually think that when the Aziz thing came out, a lot of people are like, hold on.
I don't know about this. I don't know nothing.
Yeah, you know Aziz Ansari, the comedian?
Of course I know who he is. I don't know anything what
Some girl was like, they hooked up, but it was pretty much, she was just calling him a douchey date. At the end of the day,
it was basically a bad date.
People even be called out for not being a good, like, partner?
And like
basically.
she kind of, like, he hooked up with her, but like I don't know. It's just nonsense. I mean,
it's
at the end of the day, it's whatever.
Yeah.
We're not here to comment on that shit. We're here to talk about how dope we are as artists.
No, I'm here to talk about how I'm going to try to level up in the art game by, Chor Boogie? Chor Boogie, do you know him as an artist?
I know the name.
You know I'm bad at names.
Know the name?
Just describe his art. I'm like, oh, yeah, I know.
No, I can't even describe his art to you. But you know what? Chor Boogie, he's a somewhat reputable artist amongst artists.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing this wall in San Francisco where some people tried to come up and jack his paint. And he went to go get his paint back and got stabbed by the people who were taking his paint. Well, this sort of incident launched him into national notice. You know what I'm saying? San Francisco muralist gets stabbed by taking his paint. Whoop-de-whoop. A year later, or some odd, time later, this fool's painting a chunk of the Berlin Wall goes to auction for €1 million.
Wait, he painted on the Berlin Wall?
Yeah, when the Berlin Wall came down, he painted a chunk of it. And
how old is this guy?
I don't know. I don't know him personally. I just know his story, and I painted the wall that he did paint. When I painted the bear on at 6th and Market, well, that was his wall before I painted it. There was a big wooden fence around this old school family billiards building down there. So he had painted it, like I said. And the people try to steal his paint, tries to get him, gets stabbed. National news. There you go. Homie next is doing $1 million painting. Just put off at auction. And he didn't get, I don't think he got any of that money. I think most of it went to like donations and whatnot because of the Berlin Wall being taken down. I think that it was like they had some people do paintings.
So what you're trying to say is, kids, if you're trying to do art, get stabbed.
Yeah, get some controversy. If you're trying to do art, you don't have to be that fucking good.
Take one thing away from this podcast. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you take away from that podcast.
Don't waste your time.
Is take a Facebook gig and take the commission in stock.
Yeah.
David Cho.
David Cho.
Yeah.
Get $250 million off half of that shit. Stop doing art. Get fat. Don't do no more drawings, no more paintings.
And then say some girl's vagina looks delicious. Then maybe Chuck Close. Maybe Chuck Close will his paintings will become even more expensive because of his. Dude, maybe that's his stabbing.
He's ready to go out on a limb here, but I'm gonna say probably the models that Chuck Close shoots, their vaginas probably look delicious. Like I'm not gonna beat around the bush.
I don't know. I've seen some of his paintings of male models, and I'd like to say that their penises look just as delicious. Equal rights.
Of Chuck Close models?
I don't know. I'm just bullshitting.
Oh, you want to even out the gender profile, whatever. Word. I feel you.
Yep. The dicks look just as delicious, and all those non-binary
I
people.
am hetero as fuck. What can I say?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Man. It's a difficult world. It's a difficult situation that we're in right now.
Yeah.
We are in a touchy ass situation.
I think we're pretty much good.
I didn't sign up for this.
It seems like celebrities.
I was raised off Cowboys.
It seems like celebrities are kind of the ones that are tiptoeing. I think most people in the real world are kind of just living their life, doing what the fuck they do.
I don't know, homie. That ain't
I'm
that
married.
True. I live in San Francisco.
I'm married, so I don't have to worry about that really anymore.
The eye of the storm.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah. So I feel like we should need to find a lighthearted topic to end this thing on. So, I mean,
all right, we'll leave it out a lighthearted story.
Yeah, let's hear it.
What I used to do for fun in Bakersfield as a teen or I would say my late teens, early 20s.
Uh-huh.
When I was there, I was in between Hawaii and Hollywood. I had came back to L.A.
That's like a metaphor for life.
From Hawaii. I had not yet gone to Hollywood. I had gotten a DUI, which was my second DUI. I had 2 DUIs before I was 20. FYI. Gang.
Gang.
So I had bought a motorcycle too, which I've been hella nimble on motorcycles since I was a kid, since I was 13 or 14. So I had bought a sport bike, 600 RR, quick as fuck. So my hobby was to just ditch on police, go around town, rev up my engine, get them to catch me, get them to put their lights on me, and I ditch them around town. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And this was my hobby every night. I go out, get drunk, get on the bike, go ditch cops.
Don't do
Wake
this,
up the next morning, go out, get drunk, get on the bike, ditch cops. I do this constantly. Well, within like the 3 or 4 months I was there, then finally they had enough. They tried to catch me one night. I could not ditch them. I was a little bit too faded. They were a little bit too quick. All night, they just kept chasing me. So I went and I started doing laps around my parents' neighborhood. So I was going around my parents' house constantly, just rah, 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 rah. My parents are hearing me all night. I finally hit I slid into a police roadblock. They snatched me up. They think my neck was broke because I snapped my collarbone and it started swelling up. So they thought that my neck was broke, so they didn't take my helmet off. Go to the hospital, make sure I don't have no internal bleeding, scrape all the gravel out of my side because I was wearing a tank top, shorts, and shoes with no socks, and take me from there to jail. Go from jail, stay in jail for, long enough to learn my lesson, and get back out, move to Hollywood.
So a nice lighthearted high-speed chase story.
Yeah.
For all you kids
story
out there.
Involving jail.
Also, I'd like to
follow your dreams.
Don't do that, kids. Just don't do that. Monty did enough for all of us. So,
lived 3 lives.
Yeah, so I think this is coming to an end, but I'd like to... Do you want to promote your Instagram or anything like that, Monty?
My name is Monty Guy. I am confused as fuck as why I'm not famous yet. So hashtag why am I not famous yet?
Yep.
Love it.
And then, you'll find him.
You'll find me. If you haven't found me yet, you'll find me.
Yeah.
My paintings are flawless.
They couldn't get any better.
Go look at them.
We tried. But yeah, so thank you for joining us. This has been Waiting to Dry.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, and for all you still listening, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Leave. Kick rocks.
Thank you guys.
All right.
All right.